as respects to the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. Kisumu is our point of attention today, and as you can see, following the eulogy by leaders from across the world for the former Prime Minister yesterday, and shortly we'll see what then happens here at Kisumu Airport, where our cameras are trained. Stephen Leto had briefed us a while ago of how busy this hub is today, following the communication that was issued on Wednesday by the committee, which is chaired by the Deputy President and co-chaired by Raila's elder brother Oburu Oginga, that there will be a public viewing in Kisumu County, and which had kicked off series of preparations, which yesterday, as you had seen, was officiated by the Principal Secretary, Dr. Raila Amolo, and the Kisumu County Governor, Professor Anyang' Nyong'o. It's day 4 since the passing of the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga in India, and also the 72-hour period within which he was supposed to be laid to rest will be expiring tomorrow, Sunday, and he will be laid to rest in Bondo. In close consultation also, members of the security services in Mamboleo Stadium, where this signifies the preparations that have been in place alongside the family and other parties that are involved in the entire process, since this is accorded military honors after the proclamation by the head of state. Shortly, we'll also be talking to Dr. Ekuro Okot, who is in studio with me, and who has been a critical member of the constitutional making process in 2010, a document that Raila had so cherished, and Jerkwei Marek Anyuon, who is from South Sudan and one of the Raila Odinga mentees, and who said that he has fed from Odinga's trough. We'll be talking about the impact Odinga had on regional developments, including in South Sudan, in Uganda, and also in Ethiopia, Kenya, and Tanzania, getting a view of his contributions to regional integrations and how he had championed for the same across this African community. So this marks the final journey for the former Prime Minister to Kisumu, a place where he loved and cherished, symbolizing the close affection he had with the people, and of course his following, and the symbolism that Kondele itself bears in Kenya's political chapter, which is going to be a point where this procession will pass, and the supporters who had gathered to accompany the procession. There is Maurice Ogeta, who even in death still keeps Raila Odinga company, and standing to make sure, in the company of the military officials, that he accords the former Prime Minister the much needed company that he has always accorded him. Preparations are underway to load off the former Prime Minister's body from the aircraft which has landed about 10-15 minutes ago. And the military brass that is also alighting from the aircraft in their ceremonial attire, and also the medical professionals from the military by training who have been the company of Raila Odinga's casket in the military aircraft, and also since it arrived back into the country from Mumbai in India, where he passed on Wednesday. Also, other passengers alighting from the commercial flights. There is the Homa Bay County Governor Gladys Wanga, as you can see, and Mishi Mboko, the lawmaker representing Likoni, Irene Mayaka, nominated member of Parliament, who have accompanied Odinga's aircraft taking off from the JKIA. Also, the military aircraft on the left end of your screens overflying Mamboleo, and what would be a busy airspace in Kisumu. The body of the former Prime Minister for the loading off will also be the two Kenyan flags that have been placed on both sides, as his body will be taken off from the aircraft. A day of historic events that we'll be giving you here on Citizen Television, as it has been the case since the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga passed on in India on Wednesday. In the studio with me, as we await for the loading off of the former Prime Minister's body, Dr. Ekuru Okot, Third Way Alliance Party of Kenya leader, an advocate, constitutional lawyer, and who was a critical party to the constitutional making process, and also Jerkwei Marek Anyuon from South Sudan, who is a political analyst and who had benefited from Raila Odinga's immense experience politically. Gentlemen, thanks for your time, much appreciated. Beginning with you, Dr. Ekuru. I mean, the country has certainly lost a man who believed in the rule of law, which is so scarcely a culture in our political arena, is it?
I'm not an avid, I don't watch football much.
Yeah.
But I think if I were to draw a parallel with what people who watch football, Raila was like the midfielder in Kenya's political history and journey. And yes, indeed, there is a void that Raila has left in terms of the political, discourse in Kenya. And yes, he's been, for a long time, of course, he's been a person who agitated for change, but has also played politics both ways. Yeah. In or outside government. So a lot of people really will miss that kind of politics. And first of all, let me just say my condolences to the Odingas and, of course, friends of Raila. So I think Raila will be missed from various perspectives. Yeah. Either as that critical political player, as a person who, part of the so-called Young Turks, you remember, the agitation for repeal of Section 2A of the old constitution, and of course multi-party democracy and all that. So he's played a role, but it's also important to recognize that there are many other people also who played a role alongside Raila. And some of them are still alive, some of them have died, people like Matiba and others, Martin Shikuku. So I think as we celebrate Raila's, life and maybe remember him, it's equally important that we also celebrate others who fought alongside him, in what is now called the new dispensation for Kenya. And yes, of course, I remember my time when we were doing the constitution. I closely, closely worked with his office then when he was the prime minister. as well as, of course, the late President Kibaki. So both offices, I worked with them very, very closely in delivering what's now the Constitution of Kenya 2010. Yeah. And I must say that they actually gave a lot of support to the committee of experts at that time. And I do recall, for example, when I think there were challenges about funding of the process, I will call Raila directly and I will tell him, we're having this problem. And I remember him convening a meeting between ourselves and the committee of experts and then Deputy Prime Minister Uhuru Kenyatta, and we had had a little bit of an altercation with Uhuru, because there was delay in releasing funds to the committee of experts so that we can actually do a civic education and distribution of the draft constitution which Raila was supporting, and so it was Raila actually who convened a meeting between myself, Uhuru Kenyatta, and my team. And and that's how we brokered the release of I think, I remember that time, I think 150 million Kenya shillings to allow the committee of experts to be able to print and distribute the constitution. So I really I think when people when Raila when people say that Raila actually helped in the current constitution dispensation, it is true. I have a very practical experience of what he actually did behind the scenes. Even when I remember one instance where the Kibaki team, in my view, was not so sold. Kibaki was sold with the new constitution, but part of his team was not very sold. They had one leg into the constitution and one leg outside. And I do recall we got a very damning letter from the office of the president at that time. And I think it must have been the team that did not believe in the new constitutional order. And so I sent this letter to Raila. Then I think Dr. Miguna, who was then the advisor. And I told him, Miguna, you guys need to respond to this, because we don't want this to be a duel between the committee of experts and the office of the president. Because I know Kibaki wanted the constitution, but the people around him did not really want the constitution. So I ran to Raila and I told Raila, the people of Kenya have spoken. We've gone around this country asking them what they want. And it was actually Raila, their response is what calmed the waters and somehow gave support to the committee of experts to be able to complete the process. Otherwise, there were contestation whether we want a new constitution or not, but I really, to be honest, I want to remember Raila for giving us a lot of support at the committee of experts for the new constitution.
And we'll talk more about the process itself and how he also believed in the quest for parliamentary democracy, which if we had today would otherwise have diluted all the political problems. Jerkwe, what has been your experience with Raila Odinga, and how has he impacted your life from your university days?
Thank you very much for hosting me today. I want to first of all pay my condolences to the family of Baba and the entire Kenya nation, a country that we consider to be our second home, and mostly the first home for those South Sudanese that were born here, because there are a lot of refugees that were born in Kenya and who are now the civil service in the government of South Sudan or everywhere in the corner of South Sudanese economy. They are considering themselves first Kenyan before South Sudan because they were born here. At a personal level, from university years in Nairobi University, Raila has been my mentor politically. The political culture, the political knowledge that I have today, I started from Kenya and through Raila Odinga. Following him, watching how he's pushing for Kenyan reforms and everything. Today, it is not about me and how Raila mentored me. It is about what South Sudanese people think. There's a generation that between the age of 25 downward, 20 to 25, that actually knows more about Raila than John Garang. When John Garang died, they were 5 years old or 10 years old. They never understand politics. But because they went to school in Kenya, they went to school within the East African community, they see Raila, they have seen him physically. They have listened to him more than to John Garang. This generation in South Sudan today should have been given a chance by the government of South Sudan to mourn Raila in a dignified manner. They should have been given. I remember, Ayub, when John Garang died, I was here in Nairobi. I was in YMCA, University of Nairobi. All the streets were full with the pictures of John Garang. Citizen TV, were all covering John Garang. South Sudanese in equal manner, in Juba, need to do that. They should have been given. If it's not given, I'm not in Juba yet, but if they have been given that, it is good. It is befitting for Raila. So Raila for South Sudanese people is a political father, is a mentor, somebody that has actually taught them politics. Coming to the region, you remember the last mission Raila took was to go and meet Salva Kiir, sent by the President Dr. William Ruto, to go and mediate between Riek Machar and Salva Kiir. He never went back again, but I asked the region to use the demise of Right Honorable Raila Odinga as a turning point in them coming back to look at what is happening in South Sudan. The region should be the region should use this movement to help the people of South Sudan. The political direction of South Sudan has gone way far. And with Raila Odinga's last visit, I don't think there's any other Kenyan dignitary that has gone there. So it is a request to Kenyan people and to the Kenyan government to use the death of Raila in making sure that his aspiration for the regional stability is achieved, and should start from my home country, South Sudan. Because there are a lot of South Sudanese mentored by Raila. It was in the interest of Raila, as somebody whom